Okay, let's talk spiritual awakening. So, for me, I'd say I first woke up maybe around 2022. And what that meant for me is I realized that there's more to life than buying things, trying to climb a corporate ladder, and going to nice dinners. I had been programmed to think that, I go to college, become an accountant, and, work in corporate and climb that ladder and make money and, work, 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 and work's number one. And then, I got married and it's about having, a nice looking home and beautiful furnishings. Whoops. And, still just, the perfect outfit and shoes and, thinking that the next outfit, shoes, purse, whatever was going to make me feel a certain way, and that I'll be happy when I get the job, acquire the next thing, and somehow that'll change things for me. And actually, it didn't ever. Someone I really like is Emily Fletcher, and she's the creator of Ziva Meditation, and she talks about the I'll be happy when syndrome. So, thinking that at some future date, point in time, once you get the thing, lose the weight, meet the person, that then you'll be happy. But, I think as we all kind of come to realize in life that, say, even if you move, it's like wherever you go, there you are. And so the real happiness, joy, fulfillment comes from within. And I've mentioned before that part of me waking up was being at dinner with friends and realizing that, it was another couple with my husband and I, and they're people I'm close to, and totally, should have been a safe space to just share and talk and laugh and enjoy. And I was sitting as sort of like an observer and didn't chime in a whole lot because it was almost like a light bulb lit up, being like, hey, I don't know what I like or what I think, and I also don't know what I don't like. And like, who am I? Like, I'm kind of feeling like I'm a shell of a person. And so it was like that moment was kind of like a piece of the awakening, realizing that it's not all about what I thought it was about, climbing the ladder, buying things, a piece of the awakening. And then I started to follow my curiosity and had discovered about biofield tuning, and that being a form of like an energy healing and energy, and the fact that we're made up of energy and we have energy, and there's a frequency to emotions and holding on to emotions, and how if you never express your emotions or your thoughts, feelings, it can start to have an impact on your body. And so I began down a journey of healing, knowing that I had programming and I had past traumas that were buried deep, deep, deep within me that needed to be healed in order for me to be able to begin to figure out who I am and find joy and peace and fulfillment. And so, I'm still on this path. It's been a few years now. I've worked with some really fantastic healers and have learned a bunch of different modalities to get emotions out of my body, to meditate, journal. Even doing this is actually really healing for me, because I was raised to do what my parents told me to do because they said so, and to not question authority, and to do what I thought I should do and what society thought I should do, and what's, acceptable by society's terms, not my terms. I didn't even know my terms. And so even sitting here sharing this about myself is a form of healing for me. So thank you for being here to listen. And, you know, I'm still walking the path, and I'm looking forward to walking it together. But I wanted to share that, what it's been like. And maybe you're kind of starting to question your life and your thoughts, your ideals, your values. Like, have you asked yourself what your values are? Have you ever asked yourself, what do I want? I never even thought to ask myself that question until a few years ago. I had the best boss in the world, and he was leaving. And he had said, you know, everyone loves you and you do a great job. Take my job. Like, you're ready. I know you're ready. And he's like, but think about, like, ask yourself, what do you want? And for me, it was like, what do I want? What do you mean? I just do what I'm supposed to do. I do what I should do. Like, what do I want? And so that also was a piece of my awakening, having someone finally ask, like, what do you want? Was a piece of it as well. And so I invite you to ask yourself, what do I want? What would I love? And I will continue to share about my journey as time goes on, but I'd love to hear in the comments about your journey. What are you struggling with, thinking about? Because, you know, it's a long process, and it can feel lonely sometimes, because as you start to change yourself and, you know, how you be, sometimes what can happen is friends fall off. People start to be confronted with how you are, like, what's going on? You're changing. You're not how you always were. Like, you said no to these plans. I wanted you to come. Like, my expectation is you come to these things. And, you know, through asking myself, what do I want? What situations and social settings does my body feel regulated and happy in? What ended up happening is I started saying no to some plans because I didn't feel good there or after. And, you know, maybe I didn't want to go to the thing out late at night, and instead I wanted to stay home in my jammies, take a bath, and then go to bed. And it's like, there's no other reason. I'm not busy with other plans except for those plans. And it's like, that's okay. You don't even owe anyone an explanation. One thing I've learned along the way is that you can say no and not have a reason. Because if your body, for me, I feel things in my body. So if I hear about plans or get an invitation and there's like this immediate clenching, you know, I'll first take a moment to pause and get grounded and ask myself, like, is this fear and programming? Or is this like a true body no? And like sit with that and then come to the answer. And from there, move to give an answer. So it's like, first of all, you don't even need to give an answer from the start. Second, you can say no and not have a reason. You don't need to give anyone a reason. No is a full sentence. That's been something that was also mind-boggling for me, thinking like, I have to say yes. I need to make the other person happy. God forbid I disappoint somebody. I have to live up to the expectation that they have for me, and not ever ask myself, what do I actually want? And so that's been a part of it too. It's like uncovering who I am authentically and telling the truth versus sugarcoating things or diminishing the truth, and sharing what I think. In times where maybe I would choose to self-silence, say what I really think, even if the other person isn't gonna like what I have to say. But if I don't say it, perhaps I'd be withholding information about me where they would actually get to know me for real. And so it's almost like a lie through omission. And so that's something that I've been working on as well. But yeah, so like I said, I'm still on this journey. I've come to the belief that we are infinite beings having a temporary human experience. And so I believe that we're like, Earth is school, and we are in different situations and relationships and encounters for a reason. And the areas in which we have frustration or people that frustrate us, like those people are our teachers, because they're mirroring back something that's within ourselves, and it's confronting. But instead of asking why is such and such happening to me, my question has been, why is this happening for me? What is the lesson that I'm meant to learn in this? And that's kind of been a way for me to take my power back with a shift of the point of view of situations and people and encounters. And it's allowed me to be more mindful about experiences and people and situations. And it also takes some of the pressure off of this one life for me, this one life to live, make the most of it, get all the things, climb the ladder, and then, at the end of it, were you good? Were you nice? If yes, you get to go to heaven. If no, then you're going to go to hell. No, I believe instead it's, hey, you're met with unconditional loving energy and you do a life review. Maybe you learned some of the lessons, maybe you didn't learn all of them, but it's with this lens of unconditional love, and we just come again and we put ourselves in a situation to learn further and to heal further. And so it's like also another way to kind of take my power back and like a propeller to give myself permission to live this life to the fullest, instead of trying to be good and nice, which are not bad things, but there's like this energy of being good in the eyes of what others think is good, being nice in a way such that I'm accepted and acceptable so that people approve of me. It's kind of like this manipulation, versus being kind is like doing the thing regardless of if someone approves of it or not, or if they like acknowledge that I was kind. Like, it's because it's part of my value system and who I am, not because I'm looking for approval or acceptance and the recognition from it all. It's just, this is how I be. And so there's a different energy to it. There's an intention to it. And so part of all of this is, I know I'm meant to share this and to sort of, I'm not trying to be like a guru on top of a mountain. It's, I'm the guide and we're going to walk together this path, and I'm going to share my experiences and my thoughts as they evolve, knowing that I'm not meant to be perfect, and yet at the same time, I'm perfectly imperfect exactly as I am. So it's like these mindset shifts that I'm uncovering as I heal myself, I'm going to share. And like I've said before, if something resonates, take it with you. If it doesn't, leave it. That's okay. But yeah, I'd be so curious to hear about your journey, what's going on with you, what resonates. Let me know, and have a great day.